Howdy folks, John here. Today we are looking at one of the coolest tools I've added to the RC and DIY toolbox in quite some time, a borescope. Consumer grade borescopes like this NTS500 have come a long way over the past few years. The good ones are easy to use, robust, compact, lightweight, image quality is outstanding, and prices have dropped substantially. After using this NTS500 Borescope for over a week now, I too consider this a must-have tool for any self-respecting DIY homeowner or hobbyist. You know, basically think to yourself how many times over the past month, while doing any sort of vehicle or house maintenance, you were peering into a dark hole or area with a flashlight to see or find something, and you can't see bugger all. Not to mention all the other times you were wishing, if only I could see inside this thing. If you can recall such numerous moments, you've likely been craving a borescope just as I have. I've been wanting one for home use ever since having the privilege of trying out a buddy's Snap-On Borescope a couple of years ago. Now, I of course could not afford over $3,000 for such a tool, but now us budget-minded DIYers can afford one at a fraction of the cost. This specific NTS500, for example, with the camera and everything, only costs $160 US. And actually I wanted to thank Banggood right now for sending it so we can all have a look at it. I will have product links below in the description so you can fully check it out. Now I decided on the NTS500 for several reasons. It's considered more of an industrial quality unit, and you can feel that quality while holding it. And it's got a really nice 5-inch high resolution IPS LCD screen. And a really easy and intuitive menu layout, and of course it's affordable. Now these NTS500s are branded under several different names, such as Testlong and AnyKit. They also have several industrial grade camera and camera cable length options. Just grab the little camera wherever he's hiding here. So we're going to turn off the light. There we go. So the NTS500 that Banggood stocks comes with the 8mm camera. So this is an 8mm diameter camera probe, and it's got the dual cameras on it. Where's the other one? There it is. So you've got your front-facing camera and also a side-facing. Now you can get these with a little kind of a 45-degree mirror periscope adapter that fits on them, so you can see out the side, but those things are a pain. And it doesn't cost much more to get the side camera. So in my opinion, it's money well spent, not having to deal with a little mirror that gets dirty and everything and could even fall off. And if you get them from different vendors, you can also get different length cables. The one from Banggood comes with this 3-meter cable, so about 10 feet. But they do have different lengths ranging from 1 meter, then they've got the 3, and then even a longer one at 5. The cables themselves are very stiff. It's a nice high quality flex cable, or snake cable if you want to call it that, and it retains its shape. You know, it's stiff enough that when you're sliding it through things, it's not going to bend back on itself or anything. Nice cable to use and position. Now the camera and cable on these things are the workhorse of any borescope, and in the case of the little NTS 500 here, it basically represents roughly half or even over half the cost of the unit itself. Now you're paying a lot for the camera and the cable. They plug into the head unit through this 5-pin threaded socket. So you can of course change out the cable to different length ones if you so choose. All of the NTS 500 cameras are IP67 rated. The IP stands for ingress protection, and the 6 means it's completely protected against dust ingress, and the 7 means it's waterproof up to 1 meter for up to 30 minutes. So you can certainly use this in drains to inspect drains, which we're going to try. Now I'm just going to plug this back in. The viewing angle is 70 degrees, both out of the front and the side. I'm just going to get the case out of here. Look what comes in that as well. And the front camera, we'll just look down on this hobby cutting mat. So they're claiming a focus range of on the front-facing camera of 30 to 100 millimeters. Now I found it's quite a bit larger than that. In front of 30 millimeters, it's getting a little bit blurry, but I'd call it closer to 10 millimeters that you can at least make stuff out. And then, you know, we can look right down to the end of the shop here. The side camera, not as much. You know, it's about 10 millimeters usable out to, you know, starting to get blurry right about there, which is a good 100 millimeters. So both the front and the side cameras have LED illumination. The front one has 6 little LEDs and the side one has just one bigger one. And you've got different light levels. You can either have high, medium, low, or off. And you change the camera view with this little button right on the camera socket itself. There's a little button here, so there's side view, there's forward view. And then whatever view you're in, that's what light you're controlling. So focus range is not bad at all and certainly usable for what you'd be using it for. Now this specific NTS500 also comes with some screw-on adapters. There's a little hook and a little magnet one. And you can just unscrew the little bezel on the camera here. And if we were to put the magnetic one on, so you can't see past the magnet, but of course you can see all the way around it. So if you're fishing for a screw, or you could come in behind it. I can think of many times where this would have come in handy. Now I specifically wanted a dedicated display and head unit like this over a phone or tablet accessory borescope for obvious reasons. You know, primarily no BS. You know, a dedicated tool that is both ready and easy to use at a moment's notice. And that's what this is going to give me. You know, there's nothing more frustrating than trying to remember how to use a diagnostic tool when you're already consumed with an inspection or diagnostic challenge. Let's quickly cover the operation of the NTS500. To power it on, you just have to hold the power button in for just over a second. It boots right up. That's what's so nice. It's ready to go. You're ready to use it. And that's as simple as it gets if you want it to be that simple. Of course, it will do more than that. And you probably didn't notice it, but all the green icons on the buttons here, they're all backlit when you turn it on. So when you want to use it in darker areas, you can clearly see the buttons. Speaking of dark, it's also got a built-in flashlight, which will help you see down dark abysses where you're going to probe. I've actually found that quite useful on a couple of occasions already. So going over this, you've got 3 different modes of operation. You've got a camera mode, which if you hit the record button, it'll just take a single image of what the camera is seeing. You've got video, which you can actually record your inspection on video if you want to. And when it's recording on video, there'll be a little red light flashing and a count-up timer. And then playback. So you can actually play back all your videos. And you can just select through the different videos by scrolling through them. But if we just look at that last one we did, and as you heard, it also records sound, not just the video. So if you want to leave notes while you're doing inspections right on your recording, you can. And then the gear icon are for your settings. You've got settings for your 3 different modes. So either camera mode, video mode, or playback mode. And then as far as the actual settings go for the unit, there's few. It's nice in that respect. It's not overwhelming. You can either select auto power off, 5 minutes or 10 minutes. You can select between several languages. I'll just scroll through the list so you can see what they are. Back to English. This is where you set your date and time. Nothing exciting there. You can reformat the SD card. You can revert to factory default settings. And version just shows you what it is. It doesn't even give any firmware or anything. Just the model number of the unit. And that's another thing I like with this. Likely no firmware BS to have to update all the time. Again, take it out of the box, use it. So refreshing. Power it down. The battery in this thing, it's a built-in 3.7 volt 3500 milliamp hour lithium cell, and it is charged through the micro, and you can also download the SD card when you plug it into your computer. I've already plugged this into the computer, it installs the driver, and then it just sees this as a USB storage device, so you can access the files in the little micro SD card, or you can pull the SD card out and get them off that way. It actually comes with this little card, and you know, it's a no-name card, but it is 32 gig, so decent memory on this little guy. No idea what kind of quality it is, but it's nice that it ships with it, so you can start recording right out of the box. Speaking of which,
it's probing time.
So first thing we're going to check out is the duct. Ooh, what's down in that hidey hole? Guess we're going to find out soon enough, aren't we? Oh, what the hell? Oh, now that is funny. Okay, well, come on you guys, get out of here. So, going down the duct. See how dirty they are, or how clean they are. Yeah, you know what? You almost need something to center the camera in with something like this. So I'm gonna have to make a little centering ball or something to put on the end. Let's just keep pushing it down. Oh, we're coming up to a joint. Oh, and that's as far as we can go, because the camera is not going to go past that joint, and because I don't have something to center it in the duct and ride over that joint, you can't do anything about it. Next up, I thought we'd do a little RC helicopter related probing, this time using the side camera to check out the second stage turbine blades on this turbine heli. Before this, what I had to do to check them was to actually remove the entire motor and separate the second stage from the power stage. Quite a bit of work. Recording, and there we go. Let's just get at a good angle here. There, we can see that pretty good. We'll just turn the gearbox by hand. And as we can see, we can check each blade individually for any damage, chips, that type of thing. So that works really well. While we're in RC helicopter inspection mode, thought we'd check out the gearing and belts on this Roban AS350. The umbrella gears in these things are known to wear rather quickly, and it's always been a pain trying to inspect them. Generally, you have to take the mechanics right out. Another thing, I don't know if you noticed, even on the last one, what's nice about this flexible harness for the camera, you can just drape it over stuff and you can position the head unit and the display perfectly for viewing while you're manipulating the probe with both hands. So let's hit record here and start checking things out inside this bird. So I'm going to check the umbrella gears back here. So what I should have the blades off so I could rotate everything so we could check all the teeth on each umbrella gear, but don't see any shiny bits of gear teeth lying about. Could go up the tail boom if you wanted to see if there's anything interesting going on up there. And then, of course, check all the other gearing that you can't see when the fuselage is on. There we can check the condition of the tooth belt. Looks pretty pristine still. Drive gears for the tail drive umbrella. No missing or worn teeth there. This is where we could turn the light down a bit so it's not quite as washed out. Just a few ideas. One of the most useful things borescope cameras can be used for is checking out the cylinders in engines. I've got old Quadzilla here, and I've taken out the spark plug, and we're going to check out how the top of the piston looks and how the cylinder walls look. And down we go. What we can see on the cylinder wall, looks like the cross hatching is still in there. This quad's got about 6,000 kilometers on it. Let's just go to side camera view. And there we can see the condition of the sidewall of the cylinder. Still got all the cross hatching on it, so this cylinder is in really nice shape. We can see where the top of the piston travel is. Doesn't look like there's any piston ring wear developing right at the top. Now, of course, you have to move the probe, turn the probe cable around if you want to look all the way around. See if we can do that. There we go. We're getting a good view of the piston there. A little bit of buildup on it. Very cool. Thought we'd save the grossest probing to last, and that is going down the old sink drain. Because the camera is IP67 rated, it should be able to handle going down a drain and being submerged in water for a short period of time. I'm just curious how it will focus once it's down. So let's see. Down we go. This is the old disgusting utility sink. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Okay, we're coming up to the water now. In the water. That's pretty decent. Now, of course, we're at the bottom of the P-trap there. Just turn the camera to side view, see if there's anything interesting to see on side view. Not really. This is a 1.5 inch pipe. But as you can see, it focuses well even in the water. In fact, it almost gets clearer when it's in the water. Wow, that's impressive. I just thought after all that probing, we'd check out to see if we could see any scratches on the camera lenses. So side camera looks okay. And the front camera glass as well looks okay. So don't know what type of glass is on there, but I was a little fearful after shoving it down heater duct that it might get scratched up, but well, seems fine. You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to see how it performs in oil. Last test of the probe. I'm going to shove it in a jug of motor oil. Now, I don't know if these cameras can handle getting motor oil on them. They should be okay, but you do this at your own risk. And the reason I want to do this is because I think a lot of people, like myself, I plan on inspecting transmissions, differentials, even putting it in engine crankcases. I'm curious what that will do to the image when oil gets on the lens glass. In we go. So we're in the jug. We're getting close to the oil. Close, 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 close. And can't really see anything. The image gets quite blurry. Let's go to the side camera, see if that changes anything. If it does any better. If anything, it's worse. Go back to the front camera and we'll take it out. And yeah, totally blurry image now. So you get any oil whatsoever on this thing and yeah, she's not gonna be happy. So we're just going to clean that off now. So the camera end of the probe cleaned up fine in some dish soap and water. Got all the oil off, no problem at all. The heavy duty PVC jacketing on the snake cable, none the worse for wear. So that in a nutshell is the NTS500 Borescope with the 3-meter cable and 8mm dual camera. There was one reoccurring thought I was having while using it. Actually many. I found myself thinking back to all the times I would have given my left nut to have this tool. One thing I should mention that takes getting used to is the perspective of the image. Unless you know what you are looking for and have a good mental image or understanding of what you're looking for, it's at times difficult to understand exactly what is being displayed. I also got disoriented a few times as well while moving and positioning the camera, thinking up is down, left is right, that sort of thing. But I suppose that's normal for any video imaging device like this. Oh, one other little feature it has that I forgot to mention is if the image is upside down or you're looking at it in a weird orientation, you can try flipping it with one of the buttons here. Oh, I did, by the way, 3D print this duct spacer to slide over the camera end so the camera would be lifted off the bottom of the ductwork so more duct could be seen, along with it being able to ride over the ridges. It's got this radiused edge on it here, as we can see here in the video. I just wanted to show this as one simple idea to help position the camera better in odd inspection scenarios like that. It also came with this manual. You'll note these are often called endoscopes. I always thought an endoscope was for medical use. Borescopes are more industrial, shop use. One little niggle I have with the NTS500 is I wish it had a USB-C port instead of the micro USB. It does ship with a micro USB cable, by the way. I didn't show that either. You know, there's certainly nothing wrong with micro USB. It's just that I've been getting spoiled by USB-C's ease of plugging in and not having to worry about plug orientation. I also consider USB-C, a little more robust and better suited for a tool like this. I do hope Banggood might consider offering this NTS500 with a few more camera and cable length options. You know, a 1 meter cable would have been almost always adequate. But this, of course, is totally application dependent, and having more length than not enough is the safe bet when in doubt. You know, for HVAC or plumbing inspection, for example, there are many times having the 3 meter or even a 5 meter cable would obviously be advantageous. All in all, a great value borescope and a tool I foresee getting a lot of use around my home, and one that will likely be getting borrowed often. Hopefully that gives you a little more useful information on the NTS500 Borescope, or just borescope usage and features in general. You know, they are very cool tools regardless of brand, but this little guy has certainly exceeded my expectations, which were fairly high after using the unobtainium Snap-On one a couple of years ago. Again, I'll have product links below in the description if you want to check out the specs and look at it more closely. Thanks for watching, folks. Happy probing, and we'll see you next time.